The whispering woods had stood for millennia. Ancient oaks and elms stretched towards the heavens. Their leaves whispered secrets on the wind. At the heart of the woods stood the great Yggdrasil. This was no ordinary tree. Its roots reached down into the underworld. Its branches touched the heavens. The fate of the world was said to be bound to Yggdrasil. Its magic sustained all life. Many tales were told of Yggdrasil. Legends spoke of its power. It was a place of wonder. It was also a place of danger. Dark forces lurked in the shadows. They craved Yggdrasil's magic. They sought to control it. They would use it for their evil purposes. The fate of the Whispering Woods, and indeed the world, rested on a knife's edge. The forces of darkness were growing stronger. Hope seemed to dwindle with each passing season. The whispers on the wind spoke of an ancient prophecy. It told of a time of great peril. It also hinted at a glimmer of hope. 3 heroes would rise. They would find a hidden artifact. Could they save Yggdrasil? The fate of the world hung in the balance. Deep within the Whispering Woods lived Arti. He was a young elf. His heart was pure. His spirit was strong. Arti was known for his courage. He was also known for his kindness. He loved the Whispering Woods. He would protect them with his life.
I am Lumi, a fairy with wings like a butterfly, shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. I might be small, but I am mighty, quick-witted, and brave. I can control the forces of nature, command the wind, and summon the rain to quench the earth's thirst.
Graco was a troll. He was large and imposing. He possessed incredible strength. But Graco was a gentle soul. He would not hurt a fly unless that fly was bothering Lumi. He was fiercely loyal to his friends. He would defend them to his last breath. These 3 unlikely companions were destined to meet. Fate had brought them together. They were the heroes of the prophecy. They would embark on a perilous quest. Their mission, to save Yggdrasil. They would face many dangers. They would face them together. Their friendship would be tested, but their courage would never falter. One day, Arti stumbled upon a hidden glade. Sunlight streamed through the trees. It illuminated a small clearing. In the center stood an ancient altar. Arti cautiously approached. He felt a sense of awe. He also sensed a presence. Something was watching him. On the altar lay a scroll. It was bound in leather. The leather was old and cracked. Arti reached out and gently unrolled the scroll. As he did so, the air grew cold. The hairs on the back of his neck stood on end. He could feel his heart pounding in his chest.
The scroll. It's written in a language I've never seen before, but wait, I can read it. The words, they seem to hang in the air, vibrating with power.
The scroll told of an ancient artifact. It was called the Heartwood. It was said to be hidden somewhere within the Whispering Woods. The Heartwood was a source of immense power. It was the key to saving Yggdrasil. But it was also a dangerous weapon. In the wrong hands, it could destroy the world. Arti knew he had to find the Heartwood, but he couldn't do it alone. He needed Lumi and Graco. He raced back to the village. He told them everything.
This is serious, Arti. We must act quickly. The fate of Yggdrasil depends on us.
I'm ready to fight. Let's go.
Together, the 3 companions set out into the Whispering Woods. Their journey would be long and perilous. They would have to overcome many obstacles. They would have to face their fears. But they were determined to succeed. Their first challenge came in the form of a dense thicket. Thorns as thick as a man's arm barred their way. The air was thick with the scent of roses, but these were no ordinary roses. Their thorns dripped with a deadly poison.
Stand back, I'll create a path.
Lumi flew ahead. She used her magic to create a gust of wind. It blew a path through the thicket. The thorns parted like a curtain. Arti and Graco followed close behind. They made their way through the maze of thorns. They were careful not to touch anything. They finally emerged on the other side. They were scratched and bleeding. but they were alive. Their journey continued. They faced many dangers. They fought off giant spiders. They outsmarted cunning goblins. They even escaped from the clutches of a hungry hydra. Through it all, their friendship grew stronger. They learned to rely on each other.
One day, they came to a clearing. In the center stood a towering oak. It was unlike any oak they had ever seen before. Its branches were twisted and gnarled. Its leaves were black as night.
At the base of the tree stood a figure. It was tall and imposing. It wore a cloak of woven shadows. The figure spoke. Its voice was deep and resonant. It echoed through the clearing. It was the guardian of the woods. It had been watching them. It knew of their quest. It warned them of the dangers that lay ahead.
The guardian told them that the heartwood was not easily obtained. It was protected by powerful magic. In order to reach it, they would have to prove themselves worthy. They would have to face a series of challenges. If they failed, they would be trapped in the Whispering Woods forever.
Unbeknownst to the heroes, a dark force was also searching for the heartwood. The Dark Order, a group of evil sorcerers, craved its power. They planned to use it to plunge the world into eternal darkness. Laris, the leader of the Dark Order, was a formidable foe. He possessed vast magical powers. He was cunning and ruthless. He would stop at nothing to achieve his goals.
I have been watching them. They are close to finding the heartwood. My minions will stop them. I will not allow them to interfere with my plans.
The heroes were unaware of the danger that lurked in the shadows. They faced each challenge with courage and determination. They solved ancient riddles. They navigated treacherous mazes. They even fought off a pack of werewolves. After what felt like an eternity, the heroes finally reached their destination. They stood before a hidden grove. In the center of the grove stood a magnificent tree. Its bark shimmered with an ethereal light. Its leaves were 1,000 shades of green. This was no ordinary tree. This was the heartwood, the...
Can you hear that? It's like a faint humming sound. It seems to be coming from the tree itself.
The closer we get, the louder it becomes. It's almost mournful.
The heartwood is dying. The Dark Order's magic is poisoning it. If we don't act fast, the heartwood will be lost forever, and with it, the Whispering Woods, and perhaps the world.
The scroll had mentioned a ritual of light. It was the only way to save the heartwood. But the ritual was complex. It required perfect timing. It required immense power.
I know what I have to do.
Lumi closed her eyes. She concentrated. She drew upon the power of the forest. She felt the energy flowing through her. She opened her eyes. They glowed with a bright light.
Look at her, Arti. She's starting the ritual.
Lumi chanted words of power. Her voice echoed through the grove. The air shimmered with magic. Beams of light shot out from her hands. They struck the heartwood. The heartwood pulsed with energy. Its leaves unfurled. Its bark glowed even brighter. The humming sound intensified, but it was no longer a mournful sound. It was a sound of hope. It was a sound of renewal. The ritual was a success. The heartwood was saved. The Dark Order's magic was broken. Laris and his minions were vanquished. The Whispering Woods were safe. For now. The heroes returned to their village. They were hailed as heroes. They were celebrated for their courage. They were honored for their sacrifice. But they knew that their work was not done. The forces of darkness were never truly defeated. They would rise again. As the sun rose over the Whispering Woods, casting long shadows across the land, the heroes made a pact. They would remain vigilant. They would be ready to face any threat. They would protect their home. They would protect the world. Their adventures were far from over.